Hey, what you see here is the Sidekick interface for building automations. On the left is a chat interface where all of the main interaction in the app takes place. This is where you build workflows, where you edit workflows, and where you can ask questions about what you should build. On the right is a canvas. This is where the blocks will appear as you chat, and it's meant to be a read-only representation of what's actually going on in the workflow so that you can easily understand it. You can click here and you can see all of the apps that you're allowed to use. You can see that there's the full G Suite, Notion, HubSpot Linear, and Slack. There's also AI calls and then web scraping nodes. And we're going to be adding more apps every week. But in the chat, it also has access and knowledge about what apps there are. So you can say, what apps am I allowed to use? And it will actually go ahead and tell you. So what's cool about this is you can also ask it for ideas about what you should automate. So you could say, I use Gmail a lot. What should I automate? You can actually just describe your workflow and it could give you ideas on what to automate. So here it actually gives a few ideas. You can save attachments to Google Drive, you can create tasks, and it actually gives you ideas that you can do across different apps. We also have a large set of templates you can use if you want some very common workflows to get started with. But let's say here that, I want to pull all my emails from Gmail from the past 24 hours, summarize them with AI, and then send them to me in Slack. So yeah, we'll actually ask you questions about your workflow, if there's anything that's unclear or it needs more detail on. So here it asks what Slack channel should the summary be sent to. For this, I want it to be sent in a DM to tom@magnitude.run. If anything's unclear, it'll just ask you a question about it. So once it has enough detail, it will actually go and start to build your automation. And it will actually pull in the apps that it needs automatically. So you can see here it's pulled in Gmail, it's pulled in the AI node, and it's also pulled in Slack. Before you go to run your workflow, you will need to log into those apps to give it access to use them. You can do that very easily in this credentials button that will be enabled once it actually puts the nodes on the canvas. So yeah, here you can see it's actually gone ahead and created the nodes. You can see it has a start node, a Gmail node that gets all the emails, an AI node for summarizing them, and a Slack node for sending the email summary. There's also an output node where you can specify some output that you want that will actually be viewable in the platform, but you don't have to actually specify anything. It also asked me an additional question here. It said, to find the user, do you have their Slack member ID? Using the member ID is more reliable. If I was confused about where to get that, I could also go to this little tooltip here and say, where do I find this value? And again, it will actually describe how you can actually go into your Slack and get that value. So you'll always be able to just go into the start node and ask about where to find values if you're confused about any. You can specify this, change it if you want, but this will be saved as the default value for the workflow. And cool. It looks like the workflow is good. If you're happy with it, you can then save it, give it a name and a description, and then you can go run it. As I said before, there's credentials here where I'm already connected to them, but if you weren't, you could go ahead and connect to them. And yeah, so I'm going to save this, but for now I will go out and show you the rest of the interface where you can view all of your workflows that have been created in the Workflows tab. You can also go to the templates that I mentioned and explore some of the ready-made templates if you want to just get started very quickly. You can view all of your past runs. You can view live ones as well as view results of past runs. You can schedule runs. So if you'd like to set up a schedule, you can choose the workflow, specify when you want it to run. You can toggle if you want to receive email notifications. And you can also specify inputs if you want them to override the default ones that you specified before. And then in credentials, it will be a list of all of the credentials and the apps that you've given it access to. So yeah, that's the Sidekick interface, and I am excited to see what you automate.